Hello everyone and welcome to Envision Academy. I am Trinan and in this video of the relevance series we are going to discuss about the Finance Commission. What is the Finance Commission? As you can see, India's money distributor. What does it do exactly? What is its composition? What are its functions? We will get deep into. So without any delay, let's start the video. Now, just imagine India as a big family. The central government earns money, but states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Assam, Uttar Pradesh also need money for schools, hospitals, and rural roads. Who decides how to fairly divide the money? That's exactly what the Finance Commission does. It acts as India's neutral money distributor, deciding how central tax revenue is shared between the union and the states and local governments every 5 years. Our founders knew exactly that fair money distribution was crucial. So they built this into our constitution itself. So constitution provides for it. Article 280 provides for a finance commission. Now, take India as a big family, money distributor. Okay, central government is the father. Okay, it is income from its various sources, GSTs, customs, taxes. Now, children are the states. They also need money for local expenses like education, healthcare, etc. And the local bodies are the grandparents. So you have to take care of them also. Villages and cities need funds too. Now the finance commission sitting there like a fair judge who decides how much money each family member gets every 5 years. Now, the composition of the finance commission. The finance commission is tasked with making recommendations to the President of India on several crucial financial matters. The President then presents such reports to both houses of Parliament, accompanied by an explanatory memorandum detailing the actions taken on its recommendations. However, the Centre is not legally bound to implement the suggestions made by the Finance Commission. Look, the President should present such reports, the Finance Commission reports, to both houses of Parliament, accompanied by an explanatory memorandum detailing about the actions taken on the recommendations on the basis of the recommendations of the Finance Commission. But the Centre is not legally bound to implement the suggestions made by the Finance Commission. Means the recommendations are not legally binding. They are of advisory nature, more in the sense, more advisory nature. Okay. Now, the composition is the Finance Commission should have a chairman. He has to have an experience in public affairs, a judge of a high court or one qualified to be so. Okay. A person with a specialized knowledge in finance and government accounting, extensive experience in financial matters and administration, specialized knowledge in economics. So, one chairman and 4 members. So, they are appointed by the President of India, where the qualifications are determined by the Parliament as per the Constitution. Now, this is more or less the same thing. Now, what are the functions? What are the functions of the Finance Commission? Now, the Finance Commission advises the President of India on how financial resources should be shared across different levels of government. Its first key function is what? Its first key function is particle devolution, which decides how net tax revenues are divided between the center and the states. The second function is horizontal devolution, which determines how the state's share is distributed among individual states. This is horizontal distribution among the states. Now, third, it lays down the principles of grants in aid provided to states from Consolidated Fund of India. It also lays down the principles for grants in aid provided to states from the Consolidated Fund of India. Now, the Commission also recommends measures to strengthen state finances, especially to support panchayats and municipalities. It augments the state funds, as you can see there, based on the recommendations of the State Finance Commission. Yes. And finally, it examines any other financial measure referred to by the president ensuring sound fiscal or financial management. Any other presidential references. Now, every year, this cycle repeats, ensuring our system gets regular financial checkups. Now, they solve many problems like rich states should get less, poor states should get more money. Okay, just like example, Bihar should get more than Maharashtra. Who decides that? Who recommends that? The Finance Commission. Now, state versus center's needs, balance locals and the national priorities, local priority and national priority. Now, plan for today or plan for tomorrow, today versus tomorrow, like current healthcare spending or future infrastructure spending. So, these all things are recommended by the Finance Commission every 5 years. Let's move forward. Now, they recommend, but how do they decide? What is the fairness formula? There should be some criteria, right? There should be some parameters. What are the parameters? These are the parameters. Income distance, population, area, GDP contribution, which is a new thing, very great thing introduced. Forest cover. We'll get into detail of these when we'll see in the second part of the video. We'll see the 16th Finance Commission recommendation. And then we'll get to know these things in detail. But right now, take a broad overview that yes, there is a formula set criteria to decide the money distribution. Let's move forward. Now look into this diagram. What do you see? Union Finance Commission Article 280, it recommends vertical and horizontal devolution. The money goes, it recommends state governments, augments funds for State Finance Commission, augments funds for State Finance Commission, which recommends for rural local bodies, that is the panchayats, and urban local bodies, that is municipalities. Now it clearly shows that it starts from how money starts with the Union Finance Commission. Yes, constituted under Article 280, which recommends how central tax money should be shared. Next comes vertical and horizontal devolution. First, deciding how much money goes from the center to all states, and then how that share is divided among individual states. Once states receive their share, the state governments take over. Each state then sets up a finance commission under Article 243I. It recommends how funds should go to rural local bodies or panchayats. Under Article 243Y, it recommends how funds should go to urban local bodies or the municipalities. In short, this system ensures that money flows fairly from the center to states and finally to villages and cities. As you can see, that new road in your village, its funding journey likely started with a Finance Commission recommendation, obviously, from taxes to your city. You pay taxes, income tax, GST, goes Consolidated Fund of India, center collects, puts in Consolidated Fund of India. Again, Finance Commission recommends to the formula, decides sales, states receive. Okay, and again, that road is built in your village or your city. So now, for every 100 rupees in divisible taxes, states collectively get rupees 41. This picture will get broader and clearer as we move forward. So, वीडियो के दोनों पार्ट्स देखिएगा. वीडियो दूसरा पार्ट साबो. Okay. Now, as you can see, that a finance commission is born from the Constitution. Article 280 of the Indian Constitution says that the president shall constitute a finance commission every 5 years. It created the finance commission. Timing formed every 5 years, like a financial clock. Tick, 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 tick. 5 years. Khatam. First Finance Commission, 1951. Just after Constitution came, it was constituted. Extremely sorry. Current Finance Commission, 16th Finance Commission, 2023 to 26. उनको टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस दिए गए थे. टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस क्या है क्या नहीं, वो नेक्स्ट उसमें समझेंगे नेक्स्ट पार्ट में. ओके. Now, the Finance Commission is like a fair judge who decides how much money each family member gets every 5 years. Let's move forward. Yes, now we'll discuss all the constitutional provisions of the Finance Commission. Finance Commission से related जितने भी constitutional provisions हैं, we'll discuss over here. Article 280 The president shall, within 2 years from the commencement of this constitution, what it does, and thereafter at the expiration of every fifth year or at such earlier time as the president considers necessary, by order constitute a finance commission which shall consist of a chairman and 4 other members to be appointed by the president. Parliament may by law determine the qualifications which shall be requisite for appointment as members of the commission and the manner in which they shall be selected. It shall be the duty of the commission to make recommendations to the president as to the distribution between the union and the states of the net proceeds of taxes which are to be or may be divided between them under this chapter and the allocation between the states. The principles which should govern the grants and aid of the revenues of the states out of the Consolidated Fund of India. The measures needed to augment the Consolidated Fund of a state to supplement the resources of the panchayats in the state on the basis of the recommendations made by the finance commissions. Okay. Article 280 says a commission must be formed every 5 years. Its job is to recommend a formula for dividing the divisible pool. Article 270 among states and principles for grants. Article 275. Let's move forward. Another provision is Article 268, duties levied by the union but collected and appropriated by the states. So duties are levied by the union but collected and appropriated by the states. Stamp duties and such duties of excise on medicinal and toilet preparations. Proceeds belong fully to the state where they are collected. Now, the union government creates certain small taxes, okay, like stamp duties on specific items. But the states actually collects these taxes and keeps all the money. The union does not get a share here. Think of it like the center setting a small parking fee rule. But your local municipality collects the fee and uses it entirely for local needs. Okay? So this is the thing. Everything over here. Okay. Now, Article 269, what does it say? Taxes levied and collected by the union but assigned to the states. Taxes on interstate trade, sale or transfer of goods between the states, levied by union but states get the revenue. Union acts as a central collection agency but states get the money. Now, what does it mean? The union government both creates and collects certain taxes. Here, only creating, levying certain taxes. But here, Article 269, it says about creation also and collection also. Okay, but then gives, okay, now, but after that, it gives all the money to the states. Center only collects and gives to the states, gives back to the states. The union acts as a central collection agency, but the states are the ultimate beneficiaries. This is crucial for interstate trade. Let's move. Now, we're talking about the Article 270, where the taxes levied and distributed between the union and the states. Okay. The main tax sharing pool or the divisible pool, this is the main thing. Just I'm going to make you understand that this is a very big thing. All major taxes like the income tax, GST collected by the union go to a common pool called a divisible pool. A fixed percentage of this pool is automatically shared with all the states. The Finance Commission's main job is to recommend how this share is divided among different states. That's the only thing over here. Now, all taxes and duties referred to in the union list, except the duties and taxes referred to in Article 268 and 269 that we have already seen, respectively, surcharges and taxes and duties referred to in Article 271 and any cess levied for specific purposes under any law made by the Parliament shall be levied and collected by the Government of India and shall be distributed between the Union and the states in the manner provided in Clause 2. Okay, now बाकी का आप लोग देख लीजिएगा. The Union government both creates and collects certain taxes, mainly taxes on goods sold between states, but then gives all the money to the state. Now this is the previous one, but this is taxes levied and distributed between the Union and the states. Okay. Now, Article 271 says that the surcharge on certain duties and taxes on for purposes of the Union. Notwithstanding anything in Articles 269 and 270, Parliament may at any time increase any of the duties or taxes referred to in those articles by a searchers for purposes of the union, and the whole proceeds of any part of any such searchers shall form part of the consolidated fund of India. Now, क्या बोल रहा है ये? The union can add a searchers an extra charge on top of the taxes mentioned in articles 269 and 270. 100% of this searchers money goes to the union alone. It is not shared with the states. अभी आर्टिकल 270 का जो प्रोविजन था डिविजिबल पूल बनाने का बात कर रहा था कि जितना पैसा आएगा टैक्स से टैक्सेस से ड्यूटीज एंड टैक्सेस से वो सारा पैसा हम लोग स्टेट्स में बांट देंगे. बट और एक चीज आती है, क्या आती है? सर्चर्स ऑन सर्टेन ड्यूटीज एंड टैक्सेस फॉर द पर्पजेस ऑफ द यूनियन. तो सर्चर्स या फिर ऑन सर्टेन ड्यूटीज एंड सेस जो भी आता है, क्या है सर्चर्स, क्या है सेस, हम लोग समझेंगे अभी. ठीक है, वो लेकिन स्टेट्स को नहीं दिया जाएगा. नो, it is kept by the center alone. Look, 100% of this searchers money goes to the union alone. इसके लिए भी बहुत states मतलब protest करते रहते हैं. It is not shared with the states. This is how the center can raise exclusive revenue for its special projects. Cess versus searchers. Both are additional taxes, tax on tax, levied by the union government to increase revenue, but differ in purpose and application. Now, cess is purpose-driven tax, a tax for a cause, collected only for a special purpose like education, health, or Swachh Bharat. And searchers क्या होती है? What is searchers? Income-driven tax, a tax on the rich, an extra charge on top of income tax, meant only for high-income earners. Applicability applies to all taxpayers regardless of income level, but searchers only applicable to taxpayers exceeding a certain income threshold. Example, above 50 lakh per year. Now, duration or rate, just look into it. Okay. बाकी तो सेस क्या होता है? मेन डिफरेंस इज सेस इज फॉर ए स्पेसिफिक पर्पस और फॉर ए कॉज कलेक्टेड फॉर ए स्पेशल पर्पस लाइक एजुकेशन, हेल्थ, स्वच्छ भारत. अगर ये मेंशन करके कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो ये सेस बन जाता है. एंड इफ इट इज नॉट मेंशन्ड देन टैक्स ऑन टैक्स इज always surcharge, a tax on the big, means the money that you pay as tax, a tax you have to pay on the paid tax. So that's surcharge. Okay. Now, Article 274, prior recommendation of President required to bills affecting taxation in which states are interested. This is Article 274. What does this say? Just study it once. Okay. The broad thing I'll just discuss that Parliament cannot casually change taxes that affect state revenues. If a new tax bill or amendment affects a tax that states have an interest in, like the shared taxes, okay, it must first get a recommendation from the President. This ensures states' financial interests are considered before any change is made. So, this is the thing, that no bill or amendment which imposes or varies any tax or duty in which states are interested or which varies the meaning of the expression agricultural income as defined for the purposes of the enactments relating to Indian income tax, or which affects the principles on which under any of the foregoing provisions of this chapter monies are or may be distributable to states, or which imposes any such surcharge for the purposes of the union as is mentioned in the foregoing provisions of this chapter, shall be introduced or moved in either house of parliament except on the presidential reference. It must get the recommendation from the president. Okay. Article 275, what they say? To sum it up, पूरा का पूरा ये पढ़ लीजिएगा एक बार प्रोविजन, because it is very वीडियो बहुत लंबा होता है ये पढ़ने जा रहे हैं. But in a nutshell, I am saying what is written over here. Parliament can provide extra grant money from the union fund to states that need financial assistance. This is especially for promoting welfare for of scheduled tribes, raising administration levels in scheduled areas, and specific to Assam to cover the excess costs of administering tribal areas mentioned in 6th schedule. No? So, Parliament can provide extra grant money from the union fund to states that need financial assistance, and this is specially for promoting welfare of scheduled tribes, raising administration levels in scheduled areas, and to cover the excess costs of administering administrating tribal areas mentioned in the 6th schedule. Article 281, it ensures transparency. As you can see, the president shall cause every recommendation made by the Finance Commission under the provisions of this constitution, together with an explanatory memorandum as to the action taken thereon, to be laid before each House of Parliament. Article 282, expenditure defrayable by the union or a state out of its revenues. The union or a state may make any grants for any public purpose, notwithstanding that the purpose is not one with respect to which parliament or the legislature of the state, as the case may be, may make laws. Now, Article 281, how does it ensure transparency? The president must place the commission's report and the government action taken on it before parliament. Okay, so it ensures transparency that the Finance Commission has given these recommendations and government has taken action on these recommendations, and these recommendations are still not entertained. So accountability setting is also happening, right? So that's the thing. Transparency. Now, Article 282, what did it say? It's spending for public purpose. The union or a state can spend its money on any public purpose, right? Even if that specific subject is not under its law-making list. This gives flexibility in spending for development and welfare. So that's the thing. Okay. Now, this, I hope the Finance Commission is clear to you. If you comment, we'll attach this file, PDF file, and this document in the comment section, right? If you need it, I hope you need it, so we'll attach it, right? But Baki Finance Commission, I hope it's clear. If it is not still clear, if you have any confusion, then kindly comment. We'll just make sorts and cater to the need. Okay. So this is the Finance Commission. Once more, revise it. Okay. Composition. Finance Commission key functions we discussed. What is the fairness formula? This diagram. I have explained you the thorough process. This thing. Again, the constitutional provision. When it was created, 1951, first Finance Commission. Current Finance Commission is the 16th Finance Commission, which we are going to discuss in the second part of this video. Right? Now this Article 280, Article 268, 269, 270, 271, right? Cess and searchers, cess versus searchers, Article 274, Article 275, Article 281 and 282. All we have discussed in detail. I hope you have understood the thing. If not, watch the video again or just comment this part or the section which you were not able to understand. I'll make a video out of it. Again, stay tuned for part 2, 16 Finance Commission recommendations. Thank you.